Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new. I hope you're all doing well, and today we're doing a preemptive book unhaul. So I've seen this video kind of going around a little bit on BookTube at the minute where people kind of collate a list of books that they don't think they're going to read within the year, and if they don't read them within 12 months then the books are going to self-destruct, aka you have to unhaul them. So these are the books that are going to self-destruct in 12 months off my bookshelves if I don't read them. There's a mix of genres in here, from sci-fi, weird speculative fiction, as well as some contemporary books I have recently DNF'd and I'm just not being drawn to them anymore. So without further ado, let's just hop straight into the list. There are definitely some controversial books on this list, and that is the reason why I'm putting them on this list, because I need to re-motivate myself to read them. And if I feel like if I don't put them on this list and I don't create this list, I'll just keep forgetting about it and keep forgetting about it because it is a book that I've DNF'd. And that is Yoke by Mary H.K. Choi. I tried reading this book back in like April, May time, I can't really remember, and I just wasn't vibing with the writing style, even though this is a character-driven story about two sisters who've kind of separated and they're no longer really close, and then one of them gets cancer and they kind of start to rekindle their like relationship. And it sounds right up my street if you know me and you know my reading taste, but when I read it, I just either wasn't in the mood for it or the writing style wasn't doing it for me, so therefore I DNF'd it at like the 200-page mark. I would love to give this book another go, but because I have recently DNF'd it, I'm just not being gravitated towards it at the minute. I think having a time frame for this book to be read within a year will help me pick it up sooner. So that is the first book on my list. And the next one is Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. I don't actually own this book. This is my auntie's copy and she gave it to me because she read it as part of her book club and said, give it a go. And then obviously everyone started reading it on BookTube and I was like, okay, I'll give it a go. And I've had it for about 5 months and I still haven't read it. So I feel like because this is on loan as well, if I don't read it within the year, it needs to go back to my auntie. I've heard nothing but amazing things about this book. I was saying on my live show yesterday that if blurbs start with dates, I don't like the book. I don't feel any inclination to read this book because it starts with, so in late 1969, that's not my vibe of book. I really don't like historical fiction. I know this is more like a murder mystery, which is why I agreed to take it off my auntie's hands to give it a go, but it's just not my cup of tea and I'm never drawn to pick it up. Leave me in the comments down below which books I should prioritise out of this list once I've spoken about them all, but yeah, I need some help and I need some motivation to pick up this one for sure. The next one is The Family Holiday by Elizabeth Knoll, and I have recently DNF'd this one as well. Similar to Yoke, it wasn't my vibe, I wasn't enjoying the writing style, and therefore I DNF'd it because I was hitting a slump and I just didn't want this book to drag me further into said slump, so I put it to the side. And now that I've attempted to read it, I have no inclination to pick it up whatsoever. This book basically follows a family who all get invited by their dad, who's 80 years old, he's turning 80, to go on a trip to the Cotswolds. This whole family have kind of had something going on and they're no longer very close. So the grandfather is trying to bring them all back together to celebrate his 80th birthday in the Cotswolds and rekindle what was once there. It sounds like something I would really enjoy, but maybe it was the timing of this book, I just don't know. But it's going on my list, so I have the time frame to read it. I just think I am a sucker for TBRs, I'm a sucker for lists. And now I've created this list of books, I am definitely more motivated to pick up all of these because I just don't want to get rid of them without having at least given them a go. So maybe I can do a try chapter tag with some of these books. Let me know what you guys kind of recommend. I do think try chapter might be helpful in this circumstance. So yeah, this is the next one on the list. The next one is Winger by Andrew Smith. This is quite an old BookTube book, but I've only had it for about a year, maybe just under a year, because one of my Disney friends was getting rid of a load of books because she was moving house and she couldn't store them all anymore. So she was getting rid of Winger and I was like, I'll take it off your hands. And literally the only reason I said that is because it used to be big on BookTube. I used to want to read this, but I just have no interest in this book anymore. I have no idea why I took it off her hands. I think it was just the pull of, oh, books are going for sale and they're cheap and I've heard about this book so I'm gonna pick it up. I think we all know what I'm talking about when we have that sensation, and I just have no interest in reading it, and it's really chunky and I'm not really into YA anymore, and I feel like this is going to be a really young YA, and I think this is going to be definitely one of those books I get rid of without even reading. So yeah, sorry, but not really sorry. Next one is Renegades by Marissa Meyer. I just feel like there's so many books in this pile that are quite controversial. I have tried, once again, most of these books I have tried to already read, hence why I'm going to give them the time frame. And I enjoyed the first couple of chapters, but I just wasn't in the mood to read this type of book at the time of trying to read it, so therefore I DNF'd it. Same old story, I sound like a broken record. I feel like I would enjoy this book because I like Marvel and I'm obsessed with superheroes and stuff, so when this book came out I was really interested. It has been on my bookshelf for about a year again, and I just have no interest in picking it up, and it's chunky, and I'm like, really, do I want to spend my time reading this book when I could read in the meantime, because it is about 700 pages. I'm probably exaggerating. 600 pages. I could read 2 really good adult contemporary books in that time that I'm just more interested in reading. So this book is going on the self-destruct list. The next one is The 12 Dates of Christmas by Jenny Bayliss. This was very hyped on BookTube last Christmas, and I brought it due to the hype. I was meant to read it at Christmas. I got like a chapter in, I wasn't really feeling it. I literally sound like a broken record. I'm like literally saying about the same things. But this book basically follows our main character who goes on loads of different dates around the Christmas period. I thought, oh, that's really cute and festive. I'll give that a go. Maybe I will give it another go around Christmas time, but I just don't care for it anymore. One of my like big things about my bookshelf space, I don't have much space at all. I have this bookshelf, I have a few floating shelves above that you can't see, and I have another one off to the side by my desk. That's all my bookshelf space. I have about 7 shelves in total, like that's not a lot of space. And when I look at my bookshelves, I want to be able to smile and be happy about the books that I have on my bookshelves and that are taking up space. And all these books I'm mentioning in today's video are just making me feel daunted about reading and just like not sparking any joy. So this is definitely one of them, and it's going on the list. Then we have another book that my friend was getting rid of, and I was like, I'll take it off your hands because I like this author. It was big on BookTube, and why not? It was going for cheap. The Manifesto of How to Be Interesting by Holly Bourne. I, once again, not really interested in YA anymore. I just got it because I was just being drawn to it, and I thought maybe one day I'd read it and I could take it off someone else's hands. I didn't want it anymore, but now I'm the exact same person. I want to try and get rid of it. So it's going on the list. Possibly another one that I'm not going to read within the year, but once again, like everyone who does this video, will come back in a year's time, July 2022, holy moly, and react to this video and see how many I've actually read and which ones I'll eventually be getting rid of. A year sounds like a long time. Shall I like push it to like 6 months? Stick to a year. There's 10 books on this list, so yeah, let's stick it to a year. The next book, I'm really sad to say, but if I don't put it on this list, I will never ever get around to it. The Tattooist of Auschwitz. I know myself, I love historical fiction. I don't love historical fiction. That's a lie. I know myself and I love war films. It's one of my like weird kind of personality traits. I don't think many people would like realize when I say, oh, I love war films. It's one of my favorite film genres. And the fact that I don't like historical fiction is just so backwards. But World War II and the Holocaust is one of the topics that I find most interesting. I really enjoyed learning about it in school, and I do feel like even after school you can continue to educate yourself. This was the subject that I wanted to continue to educate myself on, and I've heard amazing things about this book. But every time I come round to creating my monthly TBRs, this book never seems to be on it. So here we are, it's on this list. Hopefully I can get around to it within the year. Next book I'm putting on this list is Wilder Girls by Rory Power, because I was interested in reading it because it is marketed as a modern day version of Lord of the Flies. And when I was in school for one of my exams, I had to study Lord of the Flies. And it was like one of my favourite books I read during that kind of examination period. So when this book kind of came out and I heard Lord of the Flies kind of surrounding it, buzzing around it, flies buzzing around, I'm clever. I wanted to pick it up, and then as soon as I picked it up, like everyone I know and trust with their reviews were giving it like 2 stars, and it just made me not interested in reading it whatsoever. And plus we've been in a pandemic and it's about a virus that like deforms the body, and I don't think it's been the right time, and it just keeps sitting on my shelves and I look at it and I'm like, I am never gonna read you. Like I am never ever gonna read you, and it just sits on my shelves and it never gets read. So it's going on this list. Whether it will be unhauled, read or not read, that is the question. And the last book that's going on the if I don't read it in 12 months, it's going to self-destruct list, Illuminae by Jay Kristoff and Amy Kaufman. I brought this book because I used to enjoy a little bit of sci-fi here and there. I know that is no longer the case, and I have no interest in reading it. Not gonna lie, it daunts me. I read the first page and I was confused and I didn't know what was going on. I think it's excellent how it's formatted and written, but it just doesn't pull me in, and it's a big book, and I know people say you get through it really quickly, but it's a whole series, and if I enjoy this one, then I'll feel inclined to read the other two, and I don't have time for series anymore. I'm much more a standalone person, it's crazy. So yeah, this book is also going on the list. So here are the 10 books I'm putting on my self-destruct list. I will keep this list. I will kind of refer back to it when I'm making my TBRs. I can't promise you anything. I will try and read all these books within the year. The ones that I'm most inclined to give another go is Yoke by Mary H.H. Choi, Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens, because I've heard incredible things about it, and The Tattooist of Auschwitz. I was like, I know there's a third one. So those are the only 3 that are like still kind of piquing my interest. The others, not so much. So there we have it. That's my list. I really hope I can get around to at least trying to read all these books. Whether I'll enjoy them or not enjoy them, I have no idea. But let me know which ones in the comments down below I should prioritize. Which ones did you enjoy? Give me motivation. Give me reasons why I should pick up this book in the comments down below. And in a year's time, I will refer back to this video and we can do a reaction and see where I actually got to progress-wise with reading all these books. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a massive thumbs up. Subscribe down below to see future content from me. I do anything from wacky TBR games, weekly reading vlogs, book recommendations, and fun videos like the one you're watching right now. So make sure you subscribe so you never miss any future content. And without further ado, I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.